Hello everybody and welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'll be showing you how to make this square. The square is named Lydia by Deirdre Ice and is a possible extension for Sophie's universe. Now the original design you can of course find online on Deirdre's website lookatwhatimade.net, and if you'd like to see what this extension looks like you could also visit my own website. It's allinanutshell.com. There I show you exactly what it looks like when you connect these squares to Sophie's universe. Now, one point to note, up until now I've used a 3mm hook to make Sophie's universe. For this pattern I'm going to up a size to 3.5mm. The reason for this is that these squares are as such just slightly too small, and if you up a yarn size, a hook size, they will fit better on Sophie's universe. So also, if you're using thicker yarn you would of course maybe use a 4mm hook, then also go up a size. So I'll be using a 3.5mm for this instruction video. I'll take you step by step. This is as such a reasonably easy square. There's just this one point of attention in round 4 where we're working in the so-called third loop. I'll be taking you step by step. I hope this is a useful video for you and thank you for watching. Start with a magic ring, yarn over, pick up the loop, pick up the loop again and pull through. To start this round we want to work in total 12 double crochets in the magic ring. The first one is of course a chain 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, which counts as our first double crochet, and then in the ring we're going to work 11 more double crochets. That's 1, 2, and you'll see that I'm holding the ring tight to prevent it from going all wrong. And then this first round is always, in my experience, the most tricky, just because you have to hold everything properly. So that's the third double crochet, 4, 5, 6, and then this is double crochet number 11, which together with that first chain 3 makes 12. I'm going to pull the ring closed, close the ring, there we go, pulling on the end, and then join with a slip stitch in the third of these 3 chain stitches. There we go. Now you can cut off and pull through. Work away your ends and then you're done with round 1. Round 2, we start with a standing half double crochet, and in this round we're only going to be working in the back loops of our stitches, so which means not the entire stitch but only the back loop of this stitch. So start with a standing half double crochet in any back loop stitch. So I'm going to take this one, that's a standing half double crochet in that back loop. You'll see how that loop opens up. That's okay, this will happen on all the loops. And then make a second half double crochet in the same stitch. And that's your repeat unit. In each and every stitch you're going to be making 2 half double crochets in the back loop only. So 1 and 2. Now this stitch here is the stitch that contains the slip stitch join. You can see here is that join, so immediately next to it I'm going to pick up that back loop. You see there's little knots from the slip stitch, so that'll be 1 and 2. And then I'm going to, of course, skip the little knot itself and then go to the next stitch. And this way you won't see anything of that slip stitch. And 2. So continue like this all the way around, making 2 half double crochets in each and every stitch, and only in the back loops of each stitch. I have 2 half doubles left on this last stitch. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to join with a slip stitch in this first standing half double crochet. So in that first stitch, join with a slip stitch. Again, cut off and work away your ends. Then that completes round 2. Round 3, new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to be making flower petals in this round. And we're going to start in the stitch where we just ended. That's that stitch there that contains the slip stitch join. So we're going to also connect our yarn with a slip stitch to that position. Oops. So this is the stitch, enter into that stitch and connect with a slip stitch. There you go. Now in the next stitch we're going to be working a half double and a double crochet, and then a double crochet and a half double, and then a slip stitch again, and that is going to be our repeat unit, and that's forming the flower petals. So we're starting with a half double crochet in that stitch, in the next stitch, and a double crochet in the same stitch. So 2 stitches in one position, and then in the next position also 2 stitches. First a double crochet and then a half double crochet, and completing it with a slip stitch in the next stitch. That's your flower petal. I'm going to be making 8 of these in total. I'll show you once more. So that's 1 half double followed by a double crochet, and in the next stitch again a double crochet followed by a half double and a slip stitch. That's your second flower petal. Continue like this all the way around, and so do all these repeats, and I'll see you on the last flower petal just for the join. Almost round. Need to make the last flower petal. So that's a half double and a double in that one space, followed by a double crochet in the next stitch and a half double crochet. And now we're going to close by a slip stitch in the same stitch as where we started. So in that same position, make a slip stitch. Now you can again cut off, pull through, and work away your ends. There we go. That completes round 3. For round 4, we're going to be working in the 3rd loop of our stitches. Now, possibly you don't know what a 3rd loop is, so I'm just quickly going to explain it. If you do know, my apologies. The 3rd loop you will find behind or in front of each and every stitch. Normally when you work into a stitch, you work into this V here, or sometimes just the back loop like we did before, or the front loop. But there is actually another loop here at the bottom, which is from your yarn over. You can see this little stripe here, or here. That is your 3rd loop, that loop there. Or likewise, you also have it at the back. It's this loop here, or here. This is from your yarn over when you're making a double crochet or a half double crochet. So you also have it for the half double. It's that loop there. So what we're going to be doing in this round is making our bubble stitches in this loop here to the back. You could also have a pattern which says to make it in the front, and then that in this case would be this place. It's the same loop, it's only whether or not you take it at the front or the back. We're going to be working in the back 3rd loop, so this position there. You can see how I've just pulled that loop up. So much for the theory. Now to actually work this round, we're going to be making a framework. Again, we're going to be squaring up this little flower. I'm going to start by making a standing single crochet in any flower petal, and then in the 2nd double crochet. Remember, you've got half double, 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 half double. So in this 2nd double crochet, we're going to be making a standing single crochet. There we go. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to make a bubble stitch in this 3rd loop here to the back. So if I just pick up that loop again, it's going to be in that position there. I'm just going to quickly open it up so you can really see where it is. So you see here's the V and there's that 3rd loop. So in that position we're going to make a bubble stitch. So that's yarn over. So, and this is the 3rd loop of the 1st double crochet, because you've got 2 here. So of this 1st double crochet. So yarn over, pick up a loop, take off 2 loops. Again, yarn over, pick up a loop, take off 2 loops, and we do it a 3rd time, yarn over, pick up a loop, take off. You've got 4 loops on your hook, you take them all off in one go. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the same position, so where you already have the bubble, you're going to be making a 2nd bubble stitch. So yarn over, insert, pick up, take off 2, again yarn over, insert and take off 2, and a 3rd time. Again, now you have 4 loops on your hook, take them all off. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we go to our next flower petal, and in both double crochet stitches we're going to be making a single crochet stitch. So you can see on that 1st double crochet, make a single crochet, and on the 2nd also. And you can see how you've now made a corner, where this single crochet is of course the same as this stitch here. So this is your repeat unit. You can see how these two bobble stitches make two petals, and the chain 4 is your corner. So we're going to do this in total 4 times, so go all the way around. I'll quickly show you the repeat once more. So that's chain 3, and then in that third loop of the first double crochet, so here to the back, see there is that loop over there, that's the one you're going for. Let me just get the entire, there we go, just had half the thread. That's the third loop, and make a bobble stitch in there. That's 1, 2, 3 times, take them all off, and then chain 4, 2, 3, 4, and make another bobble stitch in that same position, that same third loop, 2 and 3, take them all off, chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and move to the next double crochet for a single crochet, and on that second double crochet also a single crochet. So that's your second repeat. Do this 2 more times and then close with a slip stitch in that first standing single crochet. For round 5, we're going to start in any chain 4 corner space with a standing double crochet. That's going to be the start of the corner, with a second double crochet, chain 2, and then a second set of 2 double crochets in that same chain 4 corner space. That's your first corner made. What we're going to do now is we're going to work a front post double crochet around this bobble stitch we have here, and by doing so is we're going to be bringing this bobble a little bit more together. Front post double crochet, that's of course yarn over front to back, pick up, make that double crochet. In the chain 3 space, make 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Now we have 2 single crochets. Around both these single crochets you're going to be making a front post double crochet. So that's 1, then another front post double crochet around that second single crochet. So the next chain 3 space again, make 1, 2, 3 double crochets, and of course around the bobble again a front post double crochet. So this is of course symmetric to the other side of the edge. And then you're on the corner again. 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. That is your repeat unit right there, because now you're at the same point where we were when we started. So now you're going to be making a front post double crochet again around the bobble and go all the way round like that. So continue like this all the way around and close with a slip stitch in that first standing double crochet. So for round 6, I'm going to start in the corner and of course make the usual corner stitch of 2, in this case double crochets. First of one, of course, a standing double crochet. It's the second double crochet, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2. Now on this edge we're going to be making cluster stitches with chain 2s in between. Start with a chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip the first stitch, that is that stitch there, and this is the first one we're going to be working into. And then on these 3 stitches we're going to be making a cluster stitch, that's in essence 3 double crochets worked together. So yarn over, skipping this stitch, in the next stitch make the first part of a double crochet, then yarn over, and in the second stitch make the first part of a double crochet and yarn over. In the third stitch do exactly the same. Now you have 4 loops on your hook and you take them all off in one go. Chain 2, 1, 2, and this we're going to do again. I'm going to do this 4 times in total. So again, 1, 2, 3, and take them all off. Chain 2, 1, 2, and another cluster stitch on over the next 3 stitches. 2 and 3, and take them all off. Chain 2, 1, 2. This is the last leg of the repeat. Again, 1, 2, and 3. Take them all off. At this point you should have 1 stitch left, that's that stitch before the corner. We're going to make chain 2, 1, 2, and then go to the corner. So skipping this stitch here, make 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And then you're exactly where we started again. So you can make a chain 2, skip that first stitch, and then make a cluster stitch again. Like so. You can see these little groups here. So this repeats, do this all the way around and close with a slip stitch in that first standing double crochet. Round 7, here again starting in the chain 2 corner space, start with a standing double crochet followed by a second double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. That's your corner made. On our next 2 stitches, work a double crochet. So that's 1 and 2. In the chain 2 space, also 2 double crochets. 1 and of course a second one. 2. Around this cluster stitch we're going to make a front post double crochet. So around that cluster, very similar to how we did this here with the bobble, work that front post, and then again in the chain 2, 2 double crochets. And now we get to a cluster, so of course again a front post double crochet. The repeat unit you're going to do 4 times, so 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space, and then a front post around the cluster stitch. In that way, by making those front posts as opposed to a regular double crochet, the edge looks much more tidy. And yes, and now we're on to a front post again around that cluster stitch. In the last chain 2 space, also 2 double crochets. And on these 2 stitches here before the corner, we also make 2 double crochets on those last 2 stitches. And then you're on the corner again. So of course 2 double crochet, followed by chain 2 and 2 double crochet. And that is your repeat unit. So you see here you're again at the same point as that. So go like this all the way around and close either with a slip stitch or the invisible joining method, which I will show you also. So just to show you the end, when you're using a slip stitch join, you would now join to this first standing double crochet. If you're doing the invisible join, you stop here and you pull your yarn through. Pick up with a needle and what we're going to do is we're not going to connect to this first stitch but to this stitch. See, I'm going to pull my yarn through, so this is not the first double crochet but that second one. I'm going to pull through here and then I'm going to go back on the stitch where we just came from, insert my needle through the top of this stitch. Just show you to the back and pull to the bottom. I'm going to pull reasonably tight. You can see here how I'm making a loop. If I just pull it apart, I'm making a new stitch here above this stitch here, and that's your invisible join. So pulling that tight, I can now work away this end. That completes this square. When you've completed the square, you've completed Lydia, do take a moment to block her, because I'll show you a square that has been blocked. You can see here a significant difference between the sharpness of these 2 squares. So do take a time to block all these squares. Well, then we're all done, and the next step is to make enough of these and connect them to Sophie's universe. What I've done also, I've done the outer edge, this dark green color is the same color as Sophie's Universe, so that makes for a nice and clean join between the two parts. That completes this instruction video. I want to thank you for watching. I hope this was a useful video for you, and I hope to see you again next time.